Hey everyone, real quick, this episode is brought to you by Talkspace. I had a little bit of a crisis. If you take spicy or acidic foods out of my life, do I even have a life? Lately on Twitter, I've been a part of several nostalgia memes, 100,000 likes, and people be like, oh my God, I remember that. I'm literally nostalgia. I know Charlie Puth was a fan back in the day. That name is very unique. And I think we might have sort of made fun of it, Charlie Puth. Nashville style hot chicken is the best. It's so good, guys. And they put it on these sweet rolls.
Hey, I'm not seeing this on the topic list at all. What's happening?
Oh. It's so funny. I was thinking about that movie Contagion. Shut up! Hello, everyone, and welcome to SmoshCast. Today I'm joined by nobody. It's just me, baby. So, actually, this is the first time that I'm back in the podcast studio. So this is kind of weird. And I'm joined by nobody else because we had a heck of a week, man. So today we're recording this on Friday. On the Wednesday, we did our first ever Twitch live stream for our new Smosh Games Twitch channel. It all went very well. Everything went off without a hitch, except for this part when we thought it would be really funny if everyone drank some apple cider vinegar and pretended like they were drinking water, like it was no big deal. Everyone was going around taking turns. You know, we all got a giant cup of it. Maybe about, I would say, 4 to 6 ounces. Is that, you'd say it's about that amount, Kevin?
Yeah.
And each one was poured, and we went around the table, each taking our turns, taking a little sip, just a little sip. Everyone was taking just a little sip. Damien sipped, and then he sipped, and then he sipped, and then he sipped, and he sipped, and he sipped most of it down. He just little by little. And I was like, well, if he's going to sip it, then I'm just going to chug the whole dang thing. Disclaimer, what I found out later is that Damien, for some reason, was given water. So that didn't affect him at all, and which gave me kind of a false sense of security. So I chugged the whole dang cup of apple cider vinegar, which turned out to not actually be apple cider vinegar. I guess there was some kind of, there's something that was lost in translation, and we just drank straight up white vinegar. Yeah, it turns out that you're not supposed to do that. How was I supposed to know that? So I chugged it and experienced a pretty terrible time. But I trucked through it. I was okay by the end, sort of. And then I had burns in my throat for about a day. So I took a breather yesterday, tried to recover in time for this podcast. I was supposed to do a podcast with Courtney and Noah, but Courtney was so tired from all the streaming, and we've been on 2 weeks straight of filming, so everyone's pretty worn out. And I was just like, you know what, frick it. I'll just do a single person pod. We'll call it Ian Rambles. I actually didn't say let's call it Ian Rambles. I think I made that up. So yeah, I'm okay now. Stomach not so bad. Everyone was very supportive. Got some yogurt. Sorry, I'm using my baby talk right now. I guess that's just what I do when I'm uncomfortable. Got some yogurt. Got some bread. Olivia freaking ordered me porridge. She had porridge delivered to my house, from this Korean place. It was this chicken porridge, and it was so freaking good. So I ate that for dinner, and then I ate the rest for brekkie. I gotta just stop shortening every word. This is dumb.
No, keep doing it. It's great.
Okay. All right. So I ate some pori for brekkie. No, I won't shorten porridge to pori. That's stupid. Yeah, so then I woke up, the next day after burning the crap out of my throat and esophagus, and I was like, okay, I need to avoid spicy foods, anything acidic, spicy food, coffee, sort of, maybe.
Yeah, that's got
I
acid in
should
it.
have, but I still drank some. But I drank it with like stuff, like I drank it with like oat milk and stuff. That wasn't. I was like, that won't be. That'll like cut down on the acidity of it. Yeah, literally, I went one day having to avoid acidic food, and I was having a crisis. I feel like a part of my personality was stripped away because I'm a spicy boy. I like spicy foods. And without spicy foods, what am I? I had a little bit of a crisis there where I'm like, if you take spicy or acidic foods out of my life, do I even have a life? How much value have I put into myself as a spicy boy? Too much, I guess. So I'm better now, though. I'm better now. I'm drinking this coffee. It's got oat milk in it, so I feel like that cuts it down. Yeah. It's been an interesting time. It's been an interesting time for everybody, I guess. I hear a couple things have happened in 2020. I hear a few things have happened. I feel like on the podcast we generally try to avoid just talking about 2020 things because we all heard it enough. I'll just talk about things that are personal to me in 2020. I don't want to talk about the events because you could go on Twitter if you want to know that. You know, everybody's handling it in a different way. The big thing obviously is like we're all shut inside, or you should be, or at least, you know, being outdoors away from people is fine. But for the most part, we're all getting shut inside. You know, a lot of people have roommates that are probably driving them crazy. A lot of you guys are probably married, or you have a boyfriend or a girlfriend, or, you know, someone that you're intimate with that you're just shut in with for hours on end. For myself, I live alone. It's just me and the dog. And the dog doesn't make for great conversation. She's actually pretty annoying. It's funny because I talk to a lot of friends that are with significant others, and some people are just like done. They're just so done. Then there's other people that are like, oh, this is actually like forced us to have like very like important conversations about our relationship, and it's actually brought us closer together. And then there's some people with roommates that are like, oh, I don't want to do this anymore. And then I was actually talking with our content manager, Kiana, and she was like, I actually know a lot of people that are living alone that are trying to, that have either like moved in with other people or they're trying to move in with other people because they just can't stand being alone. And I'm like, oh, is there something wrong with me? Because I haven't for once thought about that. I mean, like if I don't need another human being. I don't need another human being walking around all up in my stuff. I mean, if it's a significant other, then that's fine. I'd like that. But I'm not starved for, you know, another human body walking around. Does that mean that I don't get lonely sometimes? No, of course. We all lonely up in here from time to time. Living alone in COVID has been interesting. It's just kind of like it's changed a lot of my you know, daily sort of behaviors as far as like what do I do with all this time? Because I'm not going out as much. I'm just kind of like shut inside. I thought I would be reading more. I was like, I bought a bunch of books when I was up in Portland, and Powell's Books, shout out. I bought a bunch of books and I was like, I'm going to read these. And then, you know, then COVID gets bad and then I'm shut inside. And I thought, this is going to be the time when I finally sit down and read a book. I've made it through like a half a book. So not bad. Not bad. Actually, it's pretty bad. Reading is important, kids. So yeah, will I get better at reading? I hope so. I think I just haven't found like the right thing. Like I have these books that I'm like, no, I need to read this. But it's like, I don't want to though. Like I also think I just have some attention problems. Of course, it's undiagnosed, so I shouldn't say that. But I for sure have attention problems. Whether I should be medicated for that. I mean, I'm sure it would help. I'm sure it would. Yeah, I got these books that I know I would probably be a better human if I actually finished reading them, but I haven't. I've fallen into the habit, and it's something that I enjoy doing, which is watching movies, watching shows. I enjoy watching movies more because you can just like get through it and then be done with it. Like I'm not gonna pick up freaking Bleach and watch 1,500 episodes. Nah, brah. Nah. However, I have stumbled across something that I thought I would never get into, and I've discovered a little something about myself. During this lockdown, I have started watching trashy reality TV. This is my confession. It started as a joke, okay? You know, it started as just a ha ha ha, I'll watch this. This is silly. This is stupid. At the very beginning of lockdown, or roughly the beginning, you know, when it was like 2 weeks into lockdown and we're all like, oh, this is so crazy. Like we're doing all this stuff and it's like so weird that we're in lockdown. And we all thought it was going to go for like 2 months. Well, I mean, I didn't. I knew it was going to go on forever. I mean, we're stuck. We're stuck in this forever. I was like, oh, haha, I'm going to watch Love is Blind because this is stupid. And I got hooked, man. I mean, the show is bad, no doubt. Like Jessica, oh man. So for those of you that haven't seen Love is Blind, it's the whole premise of the show is that people are locked in these pods. Well, not locked in the pod. That sounds like they're prisoners. They go into these pods and they talk to somebody that's on the other side of this wall. And they have what I assume is like hours-long conversations for multiple sessions. And then they have to decide at some point if they're going to propose to the person without seeing them to prove if, you know, to see if love truly is blind. Come on. So then they propose with the absolute cheesiest romantic lines where it made me want to barf. Like I hope those lines are written because I don't want to believe that people are that freaking cheesy. Or maybe I just have a cold heart. But it's like, bro, come on. What was the worst one? Cameron's was pretty bad from what I remember. Gosh, they were all bad. There's this one girl, Gigi. Ugh. Like, so this guy proposes to her and she's like, no, I will not accept because I'm proposing to you and you are my love of my life forever and ever. And I cannot wait to spend eternity with you. Flash forward like 30 days later and it's an absolute nightmare because of course you're not going to actually know if you love the person from talking them through a wall aided by lots and lots of alcohol. That's like the thing about this show. Like, and actually with most reality TV shows, now that I'm deep into them, there is so much alcohol involved in these shows. It's like to a dangerous amount. Like there's not really any part aside from like the driving scenes where these people aren't fueled by alcohol, which makes sense. Cause I mean, it pulls the crazy out of people. Not crazy. That's not okay to say. It makes people say some stupid shit. Yeah, just vomit-inducing romantic line proposals. And then they see each other and, oh my gosh, you're attractive because of course you were selected for a show and we can't have people that aren't conventionally attractive on a show. So that lucky me. Like, I want Love is Blind to come in next season with some like real curveballs. Like some people that aren't considered conventionally attractive to like really see if Love is Blind. Come on, guys. All those people look like rejected soap opera stars. That's not really putting it to the test. Change is constant, but with the new normal, it feels like there's something new to grapple with every day. I really like Talkspace because I like the ability to reach out to somebody if you need to talk to somebody at any time. Get 24/7 access to the support you need with Talkspace. Message your therapist anytime and get daily responses 5 days a week. A whole month of dedicated support costs as much as just one in-person session. Talkspace is a fraction of the cost of in-person therapy, and now Talkspace covers 40 million people for online therapy through their insurance or employer. Talkspace is secure and private, using the latest encryption technology to keep your information safe. We all need someone to talk to. Talkspace wants to give us the support we deserve at a price we can afford. Match with your perfect therapist at Talkspace.com or by downloading the Talkspace app. And don't forget to use the promo code SMOSH at checkout for $100 off your first month. Yeah, that's right. That's $100 off your first month at Talkspace.com, promo code SMOSH. So I don't want to spoil too much about the show, but I'm sure anyone that had cared to watch it has probably already seen it. But Jessica and Mark, Jessica's 35 and Mark is 24, guys. And in case you forgot that, Jessica will remind you every 5 minutes in the show that she doesn't know if it'll work because she's 35 and he's 24. That's the funny thing about these reality shows is like you can see like that they really try to pound like narratives into your freaking face when they're like, just so you know, she's 35 and he's 24, so it's probably not gonna work. She's hella old and he's hella young. It's probably not gonna work. Surprise, it doesn't. Oh wait, that's a spoiler. But it's pretty clear. It's pretty freaking clear from the get-go because she was in love with another guy on the show. Uh-oh.
So I've got a question for you, Ian.
What's that?
What got you into watching reality shows? Like nobody just starts watching them. Like what was the catalyst?
I mean, I heard some people talking about Love is Blind, and I needed a break from all the very like dark, I feel like there's so many shows out right now, like really good written shows, movies, but they're all dark and dramatic. And I needed something that was just a little bit light because we're obviously going through something that nobody has ever gone through before, except for some really, really, really old people that went through the 1918 pandemic. You know what? I'm not going to say like I told y'all so, but I've been preaching about the 1918 pandemic for years, bro. I was ready for this. It's so funny. I was thinking about that movie Contagion. Shut up!
They're in the game studio there. I think they're just being loud in that.
Oh, I shouldn't scream like that.
Yeah, be careful on your voice, Ian. It sounds like it comes so naturally to you, though.
It does. It's nice to scream at people. It's good to scream every once in a while. I don't get to scream that much. I'm a pretty mellow, chill dude. But yeah, I kept thinking about that movie Contagion, like towards the end when like there's people that are like free and clear of the virus or whatever, and they're like going to the mall or something, and then they get their like thing checked. And I was saying like at the beginning, like when this virus was just like kicking up, I was like, I think that could possibly happen. And now that seems totally reasonable. Like that seems like a totally possible thing. Like people getting checked to like be normal people of society.
I guess I want to go deeper into this because you had strong opinions, it sounded like, about trash TV prior to watching trash TV. What was your opinions of people who watched trash TV before this? Like Jersey Shore or The Circle or going into stuff like that?
I will say I did watch the first season of Jersey. Okay. I hadn't never watched trash TV before, okay? I knew I sort of liked it to a degree, but I felt bad about watching it. Like I watched the first season of Jersey Shore, had some great moments. I watched, I think it was called The Shahs of Sunset, which followed a group of Persians living in Beverly Hills. And that was interesting. That had some just properly bad people in it. And that's the funny thing that you find out about a lot of these shows is like the worst behavior is rewarded. If you think you're going to get on a reality show and get airtime being the good guy, nah. Maybe one person is like the good guy, like the sort of like protagonist of the group, the person that keeps everyone together because they're the diplomat, right? If you want airtime on a reality show, you have to be dramatic, and you have to be, which usually means that you just have to just be an ass to everyone. One trash show that I just finished recently, Selling Sunset. Oh my goodness. I watched all 3 seasons. Woo, baby. That's about a group of people that work at a high-end real estate company in West Hollywood, and they typically only sell houses in the Hollywood Hills. It's basically all women except for like the 2 like twins that run the brokerage. I have to say my favorite thing about the show is the fashion. I like fashion. I like when somebody like throws together a nice outfit. I'm not saying like men's fashion, like any kind of fashion. So there's like ladies come through with some really, really nice outfits, and I appreciate that. I'm like, wow, that's very nice. You color coordinated. I see that. I respect that. Good job. But this one person on the show, Christine, oh man, if she wasn't on the show, this show wouldn't exist. She's the worst, and she knows it, and she fully capitalizes on it. She was pretty bad in first season, and I think second season she engages this guy who is just stupid wealthy. He's like, I think he was like a software developer, whatever. He made a ton of money. So when she comes back to the show in season 2, she like lands in a private jet, gets in her Bentley, like shows up to the thing in like some, $30,000 like wardrobe. And she's like, yes, I am that bitch. I dig it. She's so bad. Like there's a lot of people that aspire to be reality stars. Like I know somebody of somebody, I'm not friends with them, but that they said they want to be a reality star.
That's actually a really good question though, is like what's the separation, would you say, between YouTubers and reality stars? Obviously there's many degrees of YouTubers, but have you met YouTubers who could easily slot within that concept of being a reality star?
Oh, Tana Mojo would be a great reality star. Cuz you have to kind of like embrace a character. Like nobody in like reality TV shows, I hope, is really playing themselves. Like I hope they're playing a heightened version of themselves. And I think that's in a large way that a lot of YouTubers do that as well. Obviously, like 5 or more years ago, I was playing an extremely heightened version of myself. And then when people would meet me in person, they'd be like, you're like different. You're like normal. Like, yeah. Yeah, I'm not always screaming and running around and calling people Dick Biscuit. I think, yeah, I mean, in a way, a lot of like vloggers are reality stars. Like people like David Dobrik, like it's not like all that stuff would happen to them if a camera wasn't rolling, He wouldn't just be throwing Teslas out left and right on, just as part of his regular daily life if he wasn't doing it all on camera. No, he'd just be like chilling at home, playing some COD, ordering some Postmates. Yeah, I don't know. Like, yeah, YouTubers are almost like another like incarnation, or not all YouTubers, but the vloggers are sort of like another incarnation of reality TV, except they control it completely. Like with reality TV, it's controlled by a producer and an editor, and they shoot so much stuff, and then they a lot of times they just piece together a storyline afterwards. Mm-hmm. Like, so you might think that you had this whole thing that was going to end up on the show, and they're like, it sucks. Let's do this thing.
Well, so I don't know if you know this, Ian, but my wife actually was on a reality TV show. It was a cake competition one, so it wasn't this overly dramatic. But when she was explaining the process, they had her for hours just saying a bunch of different lines during the interview, and they would just create scenarios like, well, what if about this? What about that? Just for the edit.
Yeah.
So then when the edit came out, she's like, oh, they told me they weren't going to use that line. That was a wild line. That was just me saying something like randomly, and they used it.
Yeah.
So, and I told her, I was like, once the camera starts rolling on a reality show, anything you say, the editors are going to use. So.
Yeah. That's the thing. Like I always get so lost when I'm watching a reality show, because I'm thinking half my time is like spent watching what's going on, and then the other half is me wondering how they got that soundbite, or like how, like, were they just sitting there all day and that thing happened, or did a producer tell that woman to walk over and ask that person that question? Because there's these times like in the show when it just looks like they're working, and then one of them like looks over at the other person and said, "Oh my God, did you hear what Christine did last night? Did you hear what she said?" And then the person goes, F you, bitch." No, they never said that. Were they just rolling all day, or did a producer say, "Hey, ask her what if she heard what Christine said last night?" Okay. "Hey, did you hear what Christine said last night?" It's hard to know. I don't really know how much is. I mean, it depends on like what reality show it is. Some are very scripted and very orchestrated, and then I'm sure some are just purely orchestrated by alcohol. Love is Blind, Indian matchmaking. Oh, by the way, Aparna. Ugh. I was gonna just list the things I've been watching, but I have to stop. Hard stop right here. Aparna, that's not okay. All right? It's not okay. This is just turning into a full reality TV.
It really
breakdown.
is, yeah.
Aparna in Indian matchmaking is a person. She's looking for love, guys. I don't know what she's looking for because there's not a single person that fits what she wants. She's like, "Oh, I travel all the time. I love traveling. If I'm not traveling, I hate everything," or whatever. But she's like, "Oh, I hate the outdoors. I hate them." I'm like, what are you doing then? You're traveling, but you hate the outdoors. She's like, "Oh, I love South Africa. I love it." So you like go to South Africa and like chill in a hotel? I don't get it. And then this guy was like, "Oh yeah. Like, oh, I love the beach." And she's like, "I hate the beach. I hate it. I hate the beach. The beach sucks." And he's like, "Oh, you just don't like the ocean?" She's like, "No, I love the ocean. I love the ocean. I spent 2 weeks out in the ocean. I love the ocean. I hate the beach though." And he's like, "Oh, like where would you like relax for 10 days?" She's like, "Why would you need to relax for 10 days? Anything more than 3 is ridiculous. What do you need that much time to relax for? Ugh." And then he's like, "Oh, do you like your work?" She's like, "Oh, I hate my work. I hate it. Being a lawyer is weird and it sucks." And he's like, this other guy's a lawyer, and he's like, "Oh, I love being a lawyer. I love law and like helping people." She's like, "I hate it. I hate being a lawyer." Oh, unhappy people are so draining, man. They're so draining. If somebody's like really draining you and they're just being angry and mean for reasons that don't make any sense, maybe they're just unhappy. You know, maybe you can help them. Maybe you can't. But acknowledge that they're probably just unhappy and it's not your fault. Boom. That's one life lesson.
Life lesson from reality TV. That's great.
Yeah. One reality show that I did very much like and made me all warm and fuzzy was Love on the Spectrum. Following a group of people with autism, this is the debate, people with autism or autistic people. It's a flip-flop. So I'm sorry if I offended you if I said autistic people or people with autism. You know what I mean. Thank you. I'm open to hearing it. I really am. Because I need to learn. I don't know everything. So it follows a group of people with autism in Australia, which makes the show instantly better because Australian accents are so adorable. And some people that are looking for love, and other people that have found love and they're in a relationship. And I thought it was really nice. It was really nice. There was no bad people. It was just like people just like honestly just looking for a connection. Some people had never been on a date before because it's hard. What I like the most about the show is and this seems like a crazy thing to say because it's like, well, obviously this shouldn't be a stretch. But what I did like about the show is that it humanized people with autism. Like it was like, no, they have the same struggles as the rest of us. Some parts were like a little infantilizing. Is that the right word?
What are you trying to go on about?
Like, they just kind of, they treated some people just like, yeah, I think infantilizing. think that's the right word. They treated them like they were children sometimes.
Yeah.
And it's like, no, yes, they're not neurotypical, but they're not children.
Mm-hmm.
But I get it. Like I'm certainly I'm not trained in that area. I think some people in the community might not completely enjoy it, but I think it does a really good job of like, yeah, humanizing their experience.
So any final thoughts on reality TV for you during the coronavirus period?
I'd say give it a shot. I'd say, yeah, if you're looking to watch some trash, watching trash isn't all bad. Every once in a while, we got to unplug, especially now. I'd much rather talk about some like random person that's in a reality TV show than a person that's going through a real struggle in real life. Yeah, I think we can't just always be watching just intense, horrible stuff. Like, yeah, maybe every once in a while we gotta have our comfort food. We can't always be eating salad. We gotta be, we gotta have some barbecue sometimes.
I like that. Reality TV shows barbecue. That's great.
It is. It's just fatty brisket.
There was one in here I really liked, and I don't know if you'd be willing to talk about it. It was the keeping your friendships in your 30s.
Yeah.
I think it's an interesting topic. I'm also in my 30s, so I would like, I don't know if that's something that you'd be willing to discuss.
Yeah. We kind of wrote down some topics that I thought I could talk about. And it's something that I've been thinking about lately, keeping or managing friendships in your 30s. Because I was just kind of thinking about it the other day. I was like, man, like I feel like my friend circle in my 20s was much more vast, was much more varied. But like when you get in your 30s, like a lot of people they're getting deep into a relationship or a marriage. They got kids. They have a professional life, so now they're living in some other city. Like everybody's just kind of just more busy. Having just a general friendship with somebody does, I think, get harder. It doesn't mean it's impossible, but it takes a lot more to manage a friendship. That's what I'm finding that I'm bad at, because I'm bad at like keeping up with people. Like I'm totally chill to just like sit in front of my TV, play video games and watch movies for days. And I'm just not very good at like keeping up with my friends and people that I know and acquaintances and building relationships. Like a lot of times I just kind of let that stuff come to me. Everyone at Smosh, that is a friendship, but it's also a work relationship. You have to put that in one box. Like the people that you work with, it's not that you can't be friends with the people that you work with. Like having friendships with the people that you work with is great. And it's people that you see every day and that you spend a lot of your time with them. So having a relationship with that person is awesome. But you need friendships outside of that. You need somebody that's not already all up in your shit. And that's something that I realized. I was like, whoa, there's not a lot of people that I talk to on a regular basis that aren't involved in what I do. Like, and especially like in Los Angeles, like where everyone here is, basically everyone that I know is working in YouTube stuff or digital stuff, streaming, gaming, YouTube. And man, I want some friends that don't do that. Like I want like people that I talk to that I'm like, oh man, you see this YouTube video? And they're like, no. And I'm like, great. We don't need to talk about YouTube. Because talking about YouTube with everybody, it's like it gets old, man. I mean, Los Angeles in general, like, I feel like I came to the perfect city because what I do talk about a lot in general with friends and stuff is like TV shows, video games, movies, pop culture. And I think that confused a lot of my friends from Sacramento because they weren't just like all sucked into that. So I did come to the right city for that. But it's nice to have people that don't have any involvement in your industry. Yeah, I got some work to do, man. I gotta make some more friends. Or I mean, I have friends, but I need to reconnect. Actually, I had a friend actually reach out yesterday, and they were like, "Hey, sorry, I pushed you away when because this person was friends with both me and my ex. And when we split, that person, I guess, I wasn't even aware, because I don't keep up with my friends. I guess he sort of like sided with her, or like not really sided, but just like decided to like, oh, I'm just going to be friends with that person. That happens so often, like where you're friends with a couple, they break up and you're like, oh, well, I got to choose one. So they actually reached out to me and they're like, yeah, I just realized I did that and I don't know why, because you've always been cool to me. So I just wanted to apologize. And I was like, whoa, that's cool. Yeah, no, that also made me think like, yeah, I do just need to like reach out more often and establish relationships a little bit better. It never hurts to reach out to a friend and say, hey, I'm thinking about you. How are you doing? Do you want to catch up over Zoom? Or in a park?
Do you find that you're, now that you're a little bit older, like friends that you would make in your 30s versus friends that you made in your 20s, do you find like there's going to be a different, I guess the question I'm trying to ask is like a different level or caliber you're looking for now, kind of like one would going into relationships after many years of dating? Because you were saying how you're trying to look for friends outside of work, and that in and of itself is a pretty tough thing to do. Mm-hmm. I guess my question is around like, being older, finding people in our age group to relate with, but at the same time, do you find yourself as a choosier individual because of experience?
I think also like I spent so much time in relationships, like so many of my friendships were built around like, oh, this person gets along with the both of us. Mm. A lot of friendships were formed where it's like, I'm with somebody and then we make friends with this couple. It's, it's sometimes harder to like make friends when it's just yourself trying to like hang out with another couple or something. Not everyone could do that. We can't be, Damien going to Japan with you and your wife.
The perfect third wheel. Yeah. Let's be real. I mean, it was Damien and I, and Lacey was the third wheel in that.
Okay,
one, so.
That's fair. I think, yeah, it's really funny. Like because when you're a couple, like you kind of have like this sort of like in where it's like, oh, we'll go on like a double date, or like, oh, let's get dinner, or like let's do this. But when you're like a single guy, some of those doors aren't open. It's like, oh, okay, we'll be able to get together in a group setting, or if like your wife or girlfriend or boyfriend is like off doing something else, then we hang out. I mean, although in Los Angeles, like everyone's basically the same. Everyone's pretty politically aligned, but I guess nowadays I would hold my friends a little bit more accountable to like certain political things, like certain like social issues for sure. Cause yeah, I mean, like I got a couple friends up in Sacramento that are more of the shall we say redneck type. I shouldn't say redneck because that's not fair. That's not fair to the rednecks out there. But they have certain viewpoints that I believe are a little bit ignorant that I think I would hold them to now. And when I go back for Christmas, well, no, because I probably can't see them even for Christmas.
Yeah, we're in the Rona.
Damn you, Rona! I'm comfortable to speak my mind to my friend and have a more open conversation rather than just go along with something and not call them out because I'm uncomfortable. Like, I think, a relationship with a friend is just like a relationship with a significant other, where if you want to grow with that person, you have to have those uncomfortable conversations. I don't think I did that back in the day. I think like if somebody said something that I didn't like, I was just kind of like, oh.
That's actually that's very adult of you too. Being in our 30s and making friends, it comes down to being willing to have those really tough conversations to make true friends versus as kids, we just had the circle of friends and we just kind of dealt with the people that we had.
Yeah, exactly. Especially if it's somebody that's like not treating you well, like if they're treating you like dirt, like there's no reason to be friends with that person. Not worth your time. Or if they're treating you like dirt, at least call it out and be like, hey, why are you treating me like this? And then maybe they'll realize, and then maybe they'll change. It's been really funny. Lately on Twitter, I've been a part of like several like nostalgia memes that have like really popped off. Like they'll just be like a random person that'll make like a food battle meme, and it'll get like 100,000 likes, and people will be like, "Oh my god, I remember that." It's so funny that now I'm like, I'm literally nostalgia for people. That's so weird. Like it wasn't even that long ago, and it's like we're still killing it. Like some people talk about it like I'm dead. Like they're like, "Oh man, memories." Yeah, food battle is the really funny one, just because it was such a stupid concept. Not that we wouldn't bring it back, but it's just so funny that people are looking back on that fondly. There was like some meme with like a guy from Breaking Bad like having a freak out, and it was like, when I see the pink frosted sprinkled donut won food battle again. It's like, what? So it's really funny. Like, I mean, obviously the internet moves a million miles an hour. So something that was made, 5 years ago just feels ancient. Like I pulled somebody liked a tweet of mine from 2012, and that's how it popped back up into my like feed. And so I retweeted it because it was really cringe. It was a tweet of mine from 2012 that said, I was at a club last night and they played Gangnam Style and almost everyone did the dance. It was awesome.
That is so 2012.
It was super cringe. But I have to say, that wasn't a lie. I wasn't making that up. I went to a club, not really by my own volition, but I was at a club and they did play Gangnam Style, and a lot of people did the horse thing where they're like riding the horse and they do like the little like lasso move. That actually happened. No lie. And it was pretty awesome. It was a good moment.
How does that make you feel though? So people are making nostalgia memes about you. Like, how does that directly make you feel? I mean, obviously Smosh still exists and it seems more reflective upon a past era, but what does Ian Hecox think?
I mean, when people make those nostalgia memes, like I enjoy it. Like I think it's funny. Like if people like tied that as something good from their childhood, then that's really cool. I think it's cool that like, our content, as silly as it was, meant something to somebody. If somebody says your stuff sucks now compared to Food Battle, that's a little ridiculous. Mm. If you like Food Battle more, then that's fine. Like that's your own damn thing. But yeah, if people are just like, "Oh man, I missed that," it's like, well, then that meant something to you, or at least you enjoyed it, or at the very least, you wasted your time with it, and thank you for the ad rev. It's very silly, but to see that kind of response to a nostalgia meme about Food Battle, to see like 100,000 likes from just like one random ass tweet on Twitter, I mean, it's cool. It's like, whoa, that's nuts.
Because Smosh it's been 15 years now, right? Of Smosh?
It's been about 15 years.
And so if you were to just pulling numbers out of the air, but like, let's imagine 15 years ago, you had viewers who were within the age range of 10 to 15.
Yeah.
So those are now 25 to 30-year-olds.
Full-ass, grown-ass adults.
With families and jobs. Yep. And I don't know, how does it make you feel?
I know Charlie Puth was a fan back in the day.
Really?
Yeah. He entered like a contest that we did one time. Like, I want to say it was like a Boxman dance contest or something. I don't have the video, but yeah, I remember he entered. We remembered his name because that name is very unique. And I think we might have like sort of made fun of it, like Charlie Puth. So yeah, it's very strange to think that there was like somebody that might have been like a kid. Now they're like an adult with like responsibilities and like power. Like I hope one day there's like the president of the United States was like, I remember when Food Battle was happening. That was crazy. When there's one Food Battle where I ended it by saying cat dick, and I don't know why. That was crazy when Anthony tried to use a celery as a pogo stick and broke both his legs. I really hope that happens. I hope that some people that are Smosh fans or Smosh viewers grow up and get into really powerful positions. Hit me up. I'm ready to join the Illuminati. Like if you if you get into a high government position, I'll do whatever it takes. All I want is power. I don't care about anything else. I just want power and control. I'll do whatever it takes. I'll do it. I'll steamroll over anybody.
I feel really uncomfortable back here suddenly.
Good.
Okay.
Yeah, it's wild. It's wild. Full-grown adults that were kids when they watched our stuff. Or, I mean, full-grown adults that were full-grown adults when they watched our stuff are now hella old. Well, this actually kind of ties in. Maybe I'll talk about two things. Because this one, I mean, I hope it doesn't sound depressing. Quick disclaimer, before I get into this next thing, I just want to say I'm going to be talking about alcohol. So anything I'm saying is just coming from my brain, my opinion. Please be safe. One interesting thing with the sort of COVID of everything, all the adults that I talk to about this whole situation, it seems like everyone is drinking more. Like everyone I talk to is like, yeah, I've been drinking more. Well, I guess disclaimer, alcohol is poison. Yeah, I don't know. I just kind of like, I like alcohol. Some. I don't like it all. I'm never drinking to get drunk.
Huge disclaimer for anybody listening. If you're under the age of 21, please do not drink.
Or if you live in somewhere like the UK, there's other laws. Just obey the law. Obey the law and don't drink too much, baby. There.
Drink responsibly.
There's no amount of, all right, let's put it out. I just want to put that out here right now. There's no amount of alcohol that's safe. I don't care about these stupid reports that are like, drinking 1 glass of red wine will actually reduce your heart. No, bro, it's alcohol. It's poison. Yeah, it's ingrained in a lot of cultures, and people drink it and live long lives, sure. But when it comes down to it, it's poison. I think it's more like people are just like, yeah, I don't know. Like, there's nothing going on tonight. I guess I'll have a drink. So that's been an interesting thing. I've been talking with a lot of friends about that. And I've just kind of had to reevaluate my relationship with alcohol because I like it and I like to drink it and I like it in a social situation. But right now I'm living alone. So I'm not drinking it in a social situation. I'm like, I just need to get through Love is Blind. Also, it's so hard when you're watching all these reality shows and they're having a drink every single freaking moment.
Yeah.
And you're like, well, they seem fine. I guess I could have one. Mm-hmm. I don't know.
What would you surmise is the reason why you think people are increasing their consumption during the coronavirus?
Because they got nothing better to do. We have so much time on our hands. Like, I get done with work at 6 or something, and I'm like, well, I have 5 hours to kill before I want to go to sleep. I don't know, I'll have dinner, and maybe I'll have a beer, or maybe I'll pour myself, a little glass of tequila. Although I couldn't drink these last 2 days because I burned the shit out of my esophagus, and I wasn't rolling around on the floor having a conniption. So I don't think I'm an alcoholic. But I would say it's safe to say there's probably a small level. I have some level of dependency. Could I go a month without drinking? Yeah. Do I go a month without drinking? No. And it's something that I need to evaluate. And I think it's more just keeping an eye on your relationship with substances. It's anything. Doing anything on a regular basis that's not good for you is bad. Mm-hmm. Do I eat a hamburger every day? No. Do I eat a hamburger sometimes? Yeah. Do I go a month without eating a hamburger? Sometimes. Do I go a month without eating Nashville hot chicken? No. Nashville style hot chicken is the best. I'm drooling. It's so good, guys. I mean, I don't know if it's really everywhere, but it's this really spicy fried chicken. It's so good, guys. And they put it on these sweet rolls with pickles and coleslaw.
Yeah, Ian, I'm not seeing this on the topic list at all. What's happening?
Oh, I want some of that right now.
That does sound really good.
I think I have an addiction to Nashville style hot chicken.
Yeah, people have been consuming more Nashville hot chicken during the coronavirus.
Yeah, I'm contributing to that mostly. So I just want to say, adults out there, if you're drinking, just keep an eye on it. Really think about your relationship with alcohol and the effects that it has on you, your friends, your family. if you think you might have a certain dependence on it, or if you think you might have an addiction, there are resources out there, and I highly encourage you to seek it out. There's no shame in that. I don't know, guys. I hope you're being safe out there. That's the most important thing. It's a crazy time, but this is the most important time that we take care of ourselves. All right, that's the most important thing that I've come to in this time, is that there's so many things that are happening outside of our control. It's very easy to feel like there's nothing you can control. There's a lot of things that you can control in your life, whether it's your health or the place you're living in or the relationships you have. Maybe you get involved with a charity. Maybe you go outside you go into your community and you pick up trash. Like, there are things that you can control in this world. And I think that's more important than ever right now, because it feels like everything is out of control, and that's just not true. So think about the things that you can control in your life. All right, with that said, we're going to cap this bad boy off with a shoot, dude.
Shoot, dude.
Shoot, dude.
Shoot, dude.
Shoot, dude.
Shoot, dude.
Shoot, dude. Shoot, dude. Shoot, dude.
Shoot, dude.
All right, this one comes from Emma. In 7th grade, my ELA class, that's English and Language Arts class, had a big project called Person of the 20th Century. Everyone had to dress up like someone who impacted the 1900s the most and give presentations on their life and prove why they had the biggest impact. One of my classmates had chosen Walt Disney as his person. I had noticed that my classmate was stuttering as he spoke. I thought this was part of his presentation because someone had told me that Walt Disney had a stutter. I cannot find if that was true or not. I asked him if the stutter was part of his imitation. The whole class turned to look at me, and the teacher and my classmate were telling me no and to stop. I immediately knew that what I said was wrong, and I didn't mean for it to be said the way I said it. I was so embarrassed, and I wish I was invisible. To this day, it is my biggest regret. Thankfully, it's forgotten, and I am friends with the classmate. Shoot, dude!
That is a shoot, dude.
Oh, no.
He's friends, though. It's okay.
Yeah, I feel that in my bones. Yeah. I've said some really dumb things. Well, you were there when we did Olive Garden, and there's this item on the menu called, the way it said is pasta fajoule. I said it the wrong way, very loudly, and crumbled inside because I felt bad, man. I was like, I don't want to make anyone feel bad. I don't want to, it sounds like when you say it not the Italian way, it sounds like you're saying a slur. Yeah, I apologize to some of the people in the crew. I felt bad. That was a shoot. That was a serious shoot, dude.
It was a mild shoot, dude. It's one of those shoot dudes that definitely, like, I get it where you're coming from, but I don't think anybody held it against you in the moment.
Yeah, it just doesn't feel good.
Right.
That was a shoot dude for me. But I think the thing is, like, it's all about the intention. And if you think somebody was hurt and it wasn't your intention to hurt that person, still make sure they're okay and apologize.
Mm-hmm. How do you think Emma did about it, though? Because obviously it seems afterwards everything was rectified, but
yeah, I mean, I'm sure like she explained it to that person, said, I didn't know that you actually had a stutter. Like, a stutter's a pretty common speech impediment. It's not, I mean, like freaking Joe Biden has a stutter. Mm-hmm. It's not like she was trying to make fun of this guy. So, I mean, in those cases, like, what can you do? You just apologize, say that wasn't my intention. Mm-hmm. Well, guys, that's it for this wonderful Ian Rambles. What did you guys think? Did you like it? I don't know how much. I don't know. I mean, like, I don't think I can make a whole ass podcast about me rambling because there's only so many thoughts that are in my brain. But I hope you guys enjoyed this. As you can see, I'm wearing this sweet Twitch sweater. You probably can't really see it, especially if you're just listening. Big shout outs to Twitch. We just launched on there, Smosh Games on Twitch. I believe it's twitch.tv/SmoshGames. Check it out. Follow us. Watch our stuff. We're going to be streaming every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday. It's going to be a mixture of things. Like, we're going to be doing Bored AF on Mondays. We're going to be doing sort of a just chatting, like, variety kind of like show. We're going to be doing a lot of weird, fun stuff on Wednesdays. And on Fridays, we're we're gonna be playing games because it's Twitch. And you gotta play some games. You never know what to expect. So I highly encourage you guys, come check that out. Follow us on Twitch. Give us some love. Throw some Ian emotes into the chat.
Those emotes are so cute.
There's no expectation for you to subscribe, but if you do subscribe, there are really fun perks. We want to obviously, since Smosh is since we are a brand, it's not like you're supporting one person, you're supporting a group. So we want to be able to give you guys perks. So access to our Discord, discounts on our merch. Depending on the tiers, there's a certain level of discount. Really awesome. Emotes, lots of other fun stuff. Oh, the ability to actually interact with our games and change our gameplay for stuff. I'm really excited that we're still figuring out for like how we're going to do that and what we're going to do with that. But I'm really excited to see you guys manipulating our game. I think that'll be really, really fun. So this has been a ride. Thank you guys. Stay safe out there. Keep wearing your masks. Sanitize. Wash your hands. Drink water. Don't drink too much alcohol if you're an adult. Don't drink any alcohol if you're a kid. We'll see you next time. Rate 5 stars. Subscribe.
Where can they send their shoot dudes to?
And send your shoot dude to shootdude@smosh.com. Mm-hmm. That's right. SHOOTDOOD @smosh.com. Okay, enough of this. I'm out of here, baby. Oh, wait, hold on.